Everybody, Tyler here with Rusty Rocket Barbecue. Today we're going to be doing a pork butt. So we got the smoker going at about 220. This will take roughly 8 to 10 hours. First thing we're going to do is we're going to slice up the pork butt. We're going to make some cross sections just so we get a little more depth with it. And we're going to do this on the fat cap side.
It's a chicken butt.
Alright, now that we got our cross sections, we're just going to transfer it over to our pan here. Today we're going to be using Kinder's The Blend and then a seasoning that I came up with for now. And it's a chipotle and honey and hickory type of blend. So we're going to put that on there. And don't be afraid to season. The reason we have the cross sections is so that everything penetrates in. And we're going to use a mustard binder today. Okay, go for it. Base layer. Like I said, it is a big piece of meat, so don't be afraid to get in there kind of heavy. All nice and seasoned and coated well. Today we have our Austin XL running at 220. We're gonna go ahead and get this on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this on, center piece right there. Man, doesn't that look good? Alright, we're gonna let that sit. I'm gonna get a probe in it and we'll catch you guys later. Alright, it's been an hour and a half on there. It's getting a nice little bark going on it. We're gonna take some apple juice. We're gonna spritz it on. Keep it nice and moist. Beautiful color too. Alrighty, we're gonna close the lid. Looks like we're reading an internal temp of about 160, 170. We are going to let that roll for another. We're gonna let this roll for about another half hour. We'll pull it off, wrap it, put some more apple juice on the bottom, some butter, hit it with another dose of seasoning. And then we'll let it cook for another good 4 hours. All right, so our pork butt's been on for about 2 hours now at 220. So we're gonna check it. looks like the internal temp's about 180 now, but we're gonna grab the meter probe and check it out. So our probe's at about 180. We're gonna take this over to the tray, get it wrapped up, and throw some sauce on it. All right. Get this lid closed. All right, so our probe's at about 180. We're gonna throw a barbecue vinegar base sauce that I made up. And we're gonna throw this on. Let's get her all in there. Then we got a stick of butter. Throw some got a stick of butter. We're gonna throw some cubes on there. Smaller on that one. Divvy it up. All right. Now we're gonna take these gloves off. Wrap her in aluminum foil, throw her back on, let her go for another about 4 hours or so. And this is the heavy duty stuff, so that way it doesn't rib, do all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people like doing like a double wrap and throwing it in, but since we're going to use the sauce today, I'm just going to wrap it up in the tin foil. Okay, let's throw this back on. All right, we're going to go ahead and throw her back on right in the middle. We're going to crank up the heat just a little bit and let her run. All right, we're going to get our hot gloves on. We're going to get this off. Full of juice. Get our probe out. Read about 209, so it's perfect. Get it in our cooler, and we're gonna let it rest for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's pretty optimal for a pork butt. We're gonna take it inside. It's a little colder outside today, so it keeps that heat, but rest for about 2 hours. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours since we put this in the cooler, let it rest, doing its thing. We're gonna get it pulled out here. Move out of the way. All right. Let's get this off. Take a look at her. Ooh, yeah. It's looking good. Clean bone pull. Perfect. Set that there. Pick this up, move it on over to the other tray, the clean one. That's just falling apart. Now I know a lot of people like to take this fat cap and they take it and scrape the fat off, but when we cut into it, you can't really get that fat cap scraped off. So you just kind of get these little blister looking ones, but it's not bad at all. So we're just going to take that out and get that removed. Okay. So now that we have all that removed, we're just going to move this to the side here. We can go ahead and take this, and really, since we smoked it for so long, we don't really like have to use forks or the handles or any like that. We can literally just squeeze it and it'll pull apart. That's when you know you did it right. It's tender, it's good, you know, it's got all that stuff incorporated. I didn't bring the other seasoning back out with me, but usually when you get it done with it, since it's such a big piece of meat, you want to do another light dusting of seasoning, just to make sure you hit everything. Look at that smoke ring right there. Perfect. All right, let's get on in here with a bite. It's good. It's flavorful. It was right on the money. But we're just going to continue to shred this for dinner. I am going to take some of this juice. It's full of butter, full of seasoning. I mean, all the good stuff. Or all the bad stuff, really. And we'll pour a little bit of this on it. But this is kind of your barbecue vinegar sauce that we added earlier. So getting that back in and incorporated is kind of like that. And you can always add, you know, extra toppings and stuff like that to it. This is super easy. Oh, there's another big. That's part of that fat cap right there. You just pull off the good meat and that big old fat cap. That's the people don't want that on their sandwich. That's not a good mouthfeel or anything like that. But yeah, we're just gonna take the big pieces and break them up. You know, put them on a sandwich, put them on bun, put them on a piece of bread, whatever you got. I'm not a big pickle fan, but you know, typically sandwiches like this, you can put white onions, pickles, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna add just a little bit more juice here. Get that broken up. Because you don't want this dry. If you got dry meat, you didn't do it right. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Look at that bark. It's looking good right there. Alright, and the rest of this, another pro tip that you can do if you don't, you know, if it's not fork tender or anything like that, you can take the bone and it fits right there in your hand. And you can also take that in there and twirl it around, and it works just as well as your hands. But we're gonna get this cleaned up, get some sandwiches made. A lot of people really like pickles or white onions. I'm not that kind of person. I know it's pretty good, but I'm just a meat, bread, I want all the flavor kind of person. So that's what we're gonna make tonight. Feed the family. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you guys. See you on the next one.